How unpleasant. Hey there guys, your host for the Brett's Review Show. Now let's fire up this review. Today's review is about Kyoukai no Kanata. I give this anime right off the bat 9 out of 10. Hilarious sister complex, glasses fetish, the amor shipping between the main character and Mirai. I'm using her first name for first name was entertaining. And yet, sad, this anime definitely shows the sacrifices each character had to make to protect a city or an entire world. But nothing compares to sacrificing yourself for someone you love. Though you have nothing and the one you like has friends and funds to pay the rent, or on time plus food. If you haven't watched it, I sincerely recommend it. The Kyoukai no Kanata. It's very entertaining. And here's the thing about that. There's only one season. I believe it's 12 episodes. If I'm wrong, it might be a little bit more than that. But overall, it's very interesting because how this anime is you've got bad spirits or demons, and you've got people with powers, different clans, different functions who have a job to maintaining balance or to protect the city or protect the entire world from these things. And what happens is that you've got a half human, half yokai or whatever, demon or whatever, running around, walking around. He's different. And he's got yellow hair. I'm trying to remember. He's just that kind of character that goes nuts over glasses. I mean, he really has a glasses fetish on cute girls. And Mirai is a very cute girl. She's very awkward in a cute way. And how these hunters, how these people get money and get paid for what they do, is that when they go hunting and they take one of these things out, that thing turns into a gem, or kind of like a stone or a gemstone, and they take it to a shop where actual yokai, I guess I should say, there's two of them who have made a deal with them, saying to kind of run an antique business where they take a look at these stones and they see how much they're worth, and then they give them money. And there is a teacher who has problems getting a man. She's a very strong woman, and she always throws a fit about money. It's like she goes out and hunts these things and takes them out and goes to this antique shop to get them checked. And what? Only 50? Yeah, what the hell? I thought they would be worth it more than that. But then it's like, Mirai, she's very awkward. She's never actually done it. But there's a story about her that is very sad. It's very tragic. Her entire family was taken out. Gone. She's the only one left. And the reason being is because she has cursed blood. Her blood, she could take her blood and turn it into a weapon. But her blood is also poison to yokai. So even if she doesn't get to cut them down, she can use her blood to harm them when she goes full power. But her power is sealed because of a ring. So when she goes to use that power, she takes the ring off, which enables her to fight at full power. you definitely see between the main character and her, you do see a connection like what seemed right off the bat. Because to him, it starts off with him, the main character, trying to save a girl from committing suicide. And that's how you meet Mirai. She, you know, it makes it look like she attempts to commit suicide. She's got glasses and all that. But here's the thing that's a little weird about that. Because for a while, she's been trying to kill the main character multiple times. And he's immortal. He can't die. He can't die. So, because you'll see that. He'll get stabbed, he'll get a limb cut off, or he'll get badly burned, and he'll just, either later that day or the next day, he'll be totally fine. But for a while, until they start working together, she's made attempts to try and kill him, but it didn't work. It always didn't work. And all of a sudden, they start worrying about a certain yokai that's very dangerous, very powerful, and there's only one way to kill it. You need a member of the cursed blood, which means the foundation that this guy and his friends, who are siblings, the brother with the sister complex, they're part of a clan that's in charge of that area, in charge of that city, and their job is to protect everybody. So they take a lot of risks that could end up, a lot of people dying. And there's another character that's kind of behind the scenes, but he also kind of initiates kind of the problem. I mean, with Mirai's story, it's sad, it's tragic, and why she always tries to distance herself, and why she's always struggling to pay the rent or have money for food. But because she ends up joining the library club later on, which is the guy with the sister complex, his sister, and the main character are a part of. And she's gotten really into gardening and all this and that. But the whole point of the anime is the connection between the main character and Mirai and the other characters, and and what happens. Because what happens is towards the end, when this big yokai starts to make his appearance, that yokai is actually the main character. That yokai is actually inside the main character. That's why it gives him that immortality. And her job, the older sister to the guy with the sister complex, she actually hired Mirai to kill him. To not just watch him, but to kill him. Because if that yokai completely took him over, it'd be pretty dangerous. A lot of people will die. So that was a risk. But she didn't expect that Mirai would fall for him, and that he would fall for her. So this is what happened. Actually, I shouldn't reveal what happened, but basically what happened is that a fight happened, and Mirai had to sacrifice herself in order to save him. And she did that. But technically, she wasn't gone. She was still around. She was in another dimension. And where she was constantly fighting this thing. And when everybody figured it out, when the main character figured that out, he made an attempt to save her. Apparently, part of him was turned to a stone. Like part of it was the yokai inside of him was turned to a stone. And when he touched it, part of that yokai's power went back to him. So you see his hand turn from human to claw, to like a clawed form. And it was a different color to his natural skin. and that enabled him to get up to that, to go to that dimension to find her, and together they work together to fight this thing. And that's the only time you truly see him fight in the anime, was right towards the end, but it still had a sad ending because you had all these memories flashback that she sacrificed herself to save him, and now he's going to lose her again. So you don't see that connection between these Mariah and the main character. You don't see that. You don't see that bloom into something else. And towards the end, it seemed like he was never going to see her again. But in the very first place where he had met her, she appears there again. So he literally he's like, there's no way. There's no way. And he's running up to school, the stairs in the school. He's getting up to the roof. He opens the door. He gets to her, and the first thing he says is, I love you. They blacked it out, but he says, I love you. And she turns and smiles at him. And that's the end. Just kidding, that's not the end. They made a movie. Instead of creating a second season, they ended up making a movie about it, and I think they actually did the right thing, because you hear a little bit more about the story and everything. And how the movie went is that when she came back, she lost all her memory of who she was. And then you have these strange, mysterious yokai appearing. They're like black sludge. It's hard to defeat them. They keep multiplying every time you take someone down. The older sister's gone of this function. The younger brother of the sister complex is now in charge. And the whole constant mysterious fight happens. And the older sister appears, but she appears as being evil. And so there's a conflict between her and her little brother, the little sister complex, and the girl finally finds out who she is, but she also gets possessed and by the black sludge, or the evil part that's part of this. And he's the only one that can really bring her back, and he does. And you actually see this connection, this final connection between each character, that they finally bloom into something better, that they actually build on their relationship. And if something happens, yes, the worst thing would probably be the only choice. That he would have to, die. And she would have to be the only one to do it. But that's not what these characters want. They want to live in peace. They want to build on their relationship. Overall, it's funny as hell. And you get pulled into these tragic moments like, oh my god, what's she gonna do? Or what's he gonna do? Are we gonna see them actually, being in a relationship? Is something gonna happen? It kind of leaves like, don't leave it on a cliffhanger, come on! But, anyway. That's Kyoukai no Kanata. My review on that. So let's cool down. I am your host, Brett for the Retro Show. I'm out of practice. Let's cool down and look forward for the next review. Peace.